Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. We are live again from Utsjoki under the Northern Lights. If you can confirm that sound and image are good, I always appreciate that in the comments. Sound and video are good. Good evening, Michelle and Christina. We have Elton, hi to you again, and Ingrid, good evening. Ari, good evening to you as well. The Northern Lights are quite faint at this stage and the sky is a little bit hazy. You can see that around Mars on the right side of the image. Hi Alex from All About Lapland. Nice to see you here. So tonight I had a little bit more time to get ready, so I walked down crossed the road and walked down the riverbank. And Betsy, goedenavond. Good evening, the Netherlands. I know we have a lot of people from the Netherlands there. Et bonsoir la France aussi, bonsoir les francophones en général. Welcome back to all the returning viewers and welcome to the new people. If you are new, always good to let us know where you are from. I always love seeing that people are watching this from all over the world. We have a very, very slow solar wind tonight. Very low density of the solar wind. And yet here we are in Utsjoki. With faint but beautiful northern lights. And you can distinguish some faint red or pink above the green. So as always, we are able to move the camera and you can see the Big Dipper here and Aurora moving just above the northern horizon. The moon is finally not disturbing us anymore, although last week it was really nice with the snowy trees. But now I can see the Milky Way. And Denise, hi to you. Nikki, good evening to you as well. It is just after 7 p.m. here in Utsjoki. And just across the border it's only 6 p.m. in Norway. It is that close, and where I live here the river is pretty narrow and there are even some rapids actually just around the location where the Aurora is meeting the horizon on the right. And Deborah, good evening to you, or afternoon, I don't know where you're located. We have a a very dark night. We have faint auroras for now, and we are live here in Utsjoki in the far north of Finnish Lapland, and we have Gis. Good evening to you. And Deborah, yes, you should absolutely visit Finland one day. I will be in Tromsø as well in January, by the way. So you are from Switzerland, nice to see you here. I'll be in January a couple of weeks on the polar front in Tromsø, looking for whales and for the Northern Lights, so that's going to be pretty fantastic. But before that, I will be here in Utsjoki the first week of January with my friend Monica from Canada, and we are leading a photography workshop here in Utsjoki where we're going to hope to see the Northern Lights as often as we can. And we still have some spots available, so if you want to join Monica and I here in Utsjoki, you are very welcome. And Eva, you are flying across the Atlantic. That's nice that you have such a good Wi-Fi on board. And we have Shanna from Pittsburgh in the US. Good afternoon to you. So the brightest spot on the right is planet Mars. We had quite a bit of snow a few days ago, and then yesterday or the day before yesterday it became warm again above freezing point, so a lot of the snow melted. This morning I woke up, it was +3 still, but slowly the temperature has been dropping and now it's -10, and they even announce -20 over the weekend. And yes, we have people from all over the world. I have good news also. I've been complaining about Facebook a lot in the past few streams, but I just found out that they have actually finally unlocked the 1080p resolution for my Facebook page. So both on Facebook and YouTube, make sure to click on the settings wheel and to choose the 1080p resolution, and you will have a much prettier image if you do that. I am going to try to find a spot to take a picture. The riverbank is pretty steep here, and because of the rapids nearby, it's going to take a while to freeze, but it's safe enough for me to go on the ice, and even when it does I won't be able to go far because I have a feeling that it's not going to freeze a lot over here. I moved to this house this summer, so it is my first winter on this stretch of the river. Oops, it's quite slippery here. As I suspected, we have a lot of red on top of the Aurora with a long exposure, and as always you can see the still images the next day on my Instagram channel. So Deborah, what were you doing in Tromsø? Were you at the university over there? And Remy, right now the camera is in the northeast direction. We still have quite weak auroras tonight. The solar wind is really slow, density is really low, but we have a negative BZ value, which is enough here in Utsjoki to see some beautiful northern lights, even when it's weak. And Ari is saying he needs to upgrade his camera body, can't decide between R6 and 5D Mark IV. So if you had asked me a year ago, I would have said 5D Mark IV. But I started using mirrorless more and more in the past year, and I have to say that it makes a big difference for some shots. I mean, you will still get amazing images with the 5D Mark IV. I've used it for several years here under the Northern Lights, and it's an amazing camera body. But I think it would be really hard for me to go back from mirrorless now. It does make a lot of shots easier. Maybe not so big difference with the Northern Lights, but you'll have the flip screen, and of course Canon is going to evolve further and further with mirrorless, so I think that if you are switching, it is the right time to go the mirrorless way. But yes, Alex is saying the 5D Mark IV is still good. He has two of them, I have one of them. It is a really good camera, so you can't really go wrong with it. And Remy, the big star, as you say, is planet Mars, the brightest celestial object on the right side. And Brenda from Orlando, Florida. Good afternoon to you. Bonsoir Sophie. Bonsoir les francophones à nouveau. Haven't showed you the map yet for the newcomers. We are here in Utsjoki, that's the green dot in the middle of the map. We are in one of the northernmost areas in Finland, and I'm located right now right across the border from Norway. I'm actually on the left side of the image. Actually, all the fells, the hills or mountains that you can see are on the Norwegian side of the river. the lights are growing a little bit here. We have a second band appearing at the bottom, and it's a little bit brighter here towards the more northwestern direction. So that's the beauty of these live streams here. I can interact with you guys, and I can turn the camera around for better views when we need. And actually I need to turn back because it is getting a little bit brighter here. So here we go. It's actually quite uncomfortable tonight. It became a little bit windy here, and with the -10 temperature it's pretty chilly. And RES, at the end of the day, it depends on your budget. I think they're both fantastic cameras. It's just, yeah, if you want to be a little bit more future-proof, I would go R6. If you have an amazing opportunity on a 5D Mark IV in good condition for not a high price, that is not a bad idea either. But yes, R6 is future-proof. And yes, it's getting colder here. Finally, we have more winter temperatures here in Utsjoki, and it should continue getting colder in the coming days. So stay tuned. There will be hopefully more lives, because who says colder says clearer sky as well. If you don't already, I would greatly appreciate if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell, then you will be immediately notified when I go live. I'd really like to reach the 1000 followers to unlock new functionalities in YouTube, so if 5 of you could subscribe, that would be amazing. And Ari, I will be waiting for you here in Utsjoki. And yes, I do use myself the R5, but it's mostly for me useful for wildlife photography. It's always good to have these extra pixels on the sensor for extra cropping when you are far away from the wildlife. To be honest, if I was doing only landscapes and northern lights, the R6 would be absolutely perfect. Et Pierre, bonsoir à Turku. Et Joël, bonsoir à vous aussi. Ça fait longtemps que je vous ai pas vu. Bonsoir à tous les francophones. Et bonsoir à Monica. Content de tous vous revoir. The northern lights are getting a little bit brighter and spreading a little bit more in the sky. So let's see what happens. I'm not sure we get anything huge tonight. And I'm not sure I'll be able to handle this wind for a very, very long time. But we can enjoy the show for now. And Julia, good afternoon for you in Argentina. And Daiki, good evening to you as well. So you can see a car at the bottom right of the image. So it will cross to the left. So there is a road going along the river on both sides, and this car is on the Norwegian side. And as you can see, it is a very narrow area of the river. Yes, even the tiny bit of Northern Lights makes you happy. It makes me happy too. I hope it makes everybody happy. It's quite faint. That's true, but it's climbing pretty high in the sky already, even to the naked eye. I moved away from the screen, just getting my eyes used to the dark again, and I would say that the highest band now is about maybe 40 degrees above the horizon, so that's just a little bit less than halfway to the zenith. And in the northeast direction it is not bright but very, very clear to the naked eye. And to the naked eye it's maybe a little bit less green than what you can see on the screen. I don't really actually see any color to the naked eye. But I try to be as close to reality as possible with the image, and believe it or not, this is very desaturated compared to the basic setting of the camera. And we have Dasha from Alberta. What is it, still morning there? And Peter, good evening to you as well. And Lidwina, I hope I say your name right. Good evening to you. Now we can actually see the movement, and we can see it to the naked eye as well. still image. So this lower band just above the mountain is actually quite a lot brighter than the rest. Have a safe drive, Ari, and see you soon again. And Remy is asking if those lights are there during the day. Well, yes, they are there during the day, but we can't see them because we need complete darkness to see them. They are too faint to be visible during the day. And we have a nice green reflection down in the water as well. Now we have another car driving in Norway. And we have Juha from Kouvola in Finland. Good evening to you. That's two-week Northern Lights for Kouvola. But maybe later this week we get to show that will be possibly visible further south in Finland. So fingers crossed. Ooh, we have let me try not to step on my cables. We have a beam coming up all the way there. So that might be a good sign that something bigger could happen. And Pierre is asking what's the temperature here. It's about -10. And it's a bit windy, so not super comfortable. So things have calmed down a little bit, although we have a little bit thicker bands, and if I go up, and you can see that it's getting higher up in the sky, even though it's still quite faint. Oh, this wind. It is getting a little bit better. Now the whole northern sky is painted in green. And Diana, nice to see you again. And Daiki is saying, don't get cold, don't worry. I am wearing many layers. I will be fine. It's just not super comfortable on the face when there is this kind of wind and you stand still. But for now it's fine, and we are going to wait for a little bit more action. That would be amazing. Et Monica, effectivement, on ne se lasse pas du spectacle. And we can see very clearly those vertical aurora beams now in the north, and I can also see them very clearly to the naked eye. We have very strong glow in the north under the Big Dipper. So what you see on the stream is almost the same as what I see to the naked eye. if you want to support these live streams, I have opened a Buy Me a Coffee page. You can see the link in the description. So if you would like to buy me a coffee, that is always very appreciated, and within the next couple of days after the live stream I will send one or a couple of HD pictures of the night, so you can have that as a wallpaper, for example, to thank you for your support. So you can see the link in the description, both on YouTube and Facebook. So I don't know if the lights are going to be any stronger tonight, but for now it is what it is, and it's concentrated along the just above the northern horizon, which means that Utsjoki is a very, very good place for that. This would not be visible much further to the south. Now, of course, it would be better if I wasn't in the river valley, so I wouldn't have these fells as an obstacle, but as you can see, we can still see quite a lot of northern lights, and obviously you've seen the previous lives. As soon as there is more activity, it doesn't really matter, and these are not really obstacles. So there is, it was stronger before, now it's back to being a just a glow above the mountains. I can see the Milky Way. Alex is saying it's not visible, just some glow. I don't know, Alex, are you in Rovaniemi now? And Zoe, good evening to you. Yes, so it must be a really faint glow in Rovaniemi, just above the horizon. I mean, let's be honest, it's back to being just a glow, like you can see it to the naked eye. But it was better 10-15 minutes ago, then you could actually see it move here. So if any of you are into the Northern Lights, well, you are because you're watching this, and a little bit into photography. In the first week of January, I'm leading a photography trip here in Utsjoki, and we are going to focus a lot of energy on the Northern Lights. We have a lot of Northern Lights chasing planned if the weather is not playing nice at our accommodation. So if that's something you would like to do and enjoy those views with me and learn how to take pictures of those views, just check out my website or send me a message or tell me in your comments here that you're interested, and I'll revert back to you when I go back inside. And we won't be doing only Northern Lights, we will have also daytime activities. In January we have the polar night, which means that the sun doesn't rise at all, but we still have several hours of daylight in the middle of the day, and we are going to photograph some reindeer, and we're going to do some huskies activities, and we are also going to the Arctic Ocean because it's so close to here. So we'll have a very varied program which will allow you to see different landscapes and different things, and of course hopefully as many nights as possible under the Northern Lights. And now we have another brighter area in the center of the image. And Deborah, thank you for checking this out. If you are interested in joining us here, just let me know. And of course, if photography is not your thing and you want a more laid back trip, you can always just visit Utsjoki with a normal tourist package. We have a lot of options here, and I do guide some of them as well, so we might still meet. Just again send me a message or a comment and I will give you the options. And we have Henry from Ghana. That was the ice. I'm not standing on the ice. Good evening, Henry. We are still live from Utsjoki in the far north of Finnish Lapland here on the shore of the Teno River. And the bottom of the frame, you might, it's quite dark, but you might be able to see the river. And the other side of the river is another country, it's Norway. And now we are back down to really just a glow behind the mountains. I don't even see any shapes anymore. And we have another car driving there in Norway. Now you can see the other shore a little bit better. Yes, Deborah, it's always nice to have a proper camera and tripod for the Northern Lights. It's so rewarding when you can take some nice pictures. Thank you so much for joining. You say you have to leave. Hope to see you again on the lives, and have a nice evening. And we are on 998 followers on YouTube. We need 2 more. Two more to reach the magical number of 1000. So who is going to head to the YouTube channel REZ Photography and give me those extra followers to reach this new milestone? And hurry, because the Northern Lights are disappearing and I might go home soon. So it is 8 p.m. here. In about a week, 10 days, we will have the polar night starting. And during the polar night, the sun doesn't rise at all. Then until late in January. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't get that we don't get any light, but then we don't have any direct sunshine anymore because the sun doesn't rise. But we do get several hours of really beautiful daytime, especially when it's not cloudy. And we have Trevor, who just joined on YouTube. Thank you so much. Et Monica, je peux pas taper de commentaires là dans le live pendant que je suis en direct. Si vous allez sur YouTube et que vous cherchez REZ photographie en anglais avec un Y à la fin, vous trouverez ma chaîne YouTube. Merci beaucoup. Sinon, je vous donnerai le lien quand je rentre après ce direct. Merci à vous, Monica. Oh, il fait froid. So as you can see, there isn't a lot happening anymore. We have Mars here, the brightest spot on the right. And not much. Ooh, the wind is picking up. And thank you very much, Anne, for subscribing on YouTube. Happy to see you watch from the UK and see you on the next one. Hey, we have some movement here in the green. It's very low above the horizon. But you can also see it kind of flicker under the bend. It is actually moving quite nicely under the, like this little bend just above the hills. But yes, it is very, very far away in the north. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is to me still an successful Aurora display. Of course, we always hope for more and a lot of craziness. But it is alive and it is moving and it is visible brightly enough to the naked eye. I was about to call it a night, or at least for now. But let's just see what happens with this part of the display, and then I will decide what to do. And Chris, you're very welcome. Happy that you enjoy it. Maybe in Svalbard they have a good display right now. If they have clear sky, of course. It is very faint. It grew a little bit higher above the horizon. but it became fainter. And we have John from the Netherlands. Greetings to you as well, and thank you for being there again. So everybody, I don't think that a lot is going to happen tonight, or at least right now. So I'm going to stop this this live for now, but I'm going to keep the gear ready, and if we have later on around 10-11 midnight a bigger show, I might go live again, but this time from just in front of my house. So as always, stay tuned. I have been happy again to see you all, and we are going to do a lot more live streams. The solar wind should get better later in the week, and the weather forecast is quite good. Of course, it can still change a lot, but it seems that we are going to have a cold spell, and that comes together with clear skies. So I'm going to wish you a good rest of the day, good evening, good night to the Europeans, good afternoon, good evening to the people on the other side of the Atlantic. Stay tuned in case we come back live, and otherwise I will see you in a very short time again, maybe tomorrow or the day after. So thank you everybody, and see you very soon.